Kia ora. In today's news, 3 ministers are to leave cabinet and be replaced with fresh faces. David Carter is taking over the role of Speaker, vacated by Lockwood Smith, and in a surprise move, Kate Wilkinson and Phil Heatley have been asked to move to the backbench. They'll be replaced by former Cabinet Minister Nick Smith, Auckland Central MP Nikki Kay, Tauranga's Simon Bridges and Michael Woodhouse. John Key says it's time to give other people a chance and for some fresh faces to come into Cabinet. The Director of Family First believes our leaders should respect what nature decided. He's been making a submission at a Parliamentary Select Committee hearing taking place today in Auckland over Louisa Wall's marriage equality bill. Bob McCoskrie says allowing gay and lesbian people to marry would go against nature.
Marriage combines the complementary characteristics of men and women as defined by nature. Nature is exclusive and nature is discriminatory in that only the union of a man and a woman can produce another life.
The provider of the NovaPay system has been put on notice by the government. In his cabinet reshuffle today, John Key gave Senior Minister Stephen Joyce responsibility for the education sector's payroll system. Mr Key says after months of problems, he's decided to elevate NovaPay on the government's list of priorities. An eruption at White Island may be imminent. In the past 3 weeks, New Zealand's only active marine volcano has been more active than experts have seen in years. GNS senior volcanologist Dr. Brad Scott says there's no way to tell what might happen though. He says this is the volcanic equivalent of putting up a hand to signal that something is about to occur. Dr. Scott says there's a 50-50 chance it could erupt or die down. He said there's nothing to tell them at the moment what will happen. At least 500,000 people have turned up to witness Barack Obama's inauguration in Washington, D.C. The president promised a fairer society.
We know that America thrives when every person can find independence and pride in their work. When the wages of honest labor liberate families from the brink of hardship. We are true to our creed when a little girl born into the bleakest poverty knows that she has the same chance to succeed as anybody else because she is an American. She is free, and she is equal, not just in the eyes of God, but also in our own.
And while President Obama may have skirted around the specifics in today's inauguration speech, he hasn't shied away from telling America what still needs to be done.
Progress does not compel us to settle centuries-long debates about the role of government for all time, but it does require us to act in our time.
President Obama laid his hands on Bibles belonging to former US President Abraham Lincoln and slain civil rights leader Martin Luther King. 5 people remain in hospital in Kenya after the road crash that killed 3 people from Tauranga last week. The first group from the Bethlehem College mission to the African nation arrived in Tauranga yesterday, along with the bodies of husband and wife Brian and Grace Johnston and 19-year-old Caitlin Dixon. A second group's travelling home today, with the final members expected on Thursday as they need specialist medical transport. And more than $20,000 has been deposited into a bank account set up for the Kenyan community following the fatal road crash. Bethlehem College Principal Ian Crosby says for the small village of Mahanga and the family of the Kenyan driver who died in the crash, there's simply no support and no insurance as there is in New Zealand. Finally, Orthodox Christians in St Petersburg have been marking the Feast of Epiphany by taking an icy dip in the River Neva. At least 17 ice holes have been created in the city for traditional winter bathing. Orthodox Christians believe that plunging into freezing water on Epiphany cleanses them of their worldly sins and brings health benefits. And that's all from us for now. Thanks for watching and do join us again soon. From all of us on the RBG News team, ka kite anō.